go to school, work hard, get a degree, you'll get a job, you'll end up rich, save for your 401k, don't worry about your pension, you're gonna own your home one day, vote for your candidate, it really matters, and you're gonna be a happy citizen. And it turns out every single part of that is a lie. They want you to pay taxes, you need to work, and they want to keep your mind distracted and placated enough for you to continue to pay taxes, even though your cost of living keeps going up, your living standard keeps going down, crime keeps going up, you're miserable, the traffic and the commute is getting worse day by day, your life is degrading in real time, your only chance to get out of it is to get rich. You can't, and you're stuck. So they have to broadcast enough garbage into your brain that you get distracted by TikTok and being stupid enough to pay $700 to go watch Taylor Swift. So look at these people screaming, jumping up and down, looking at an artist they've already heard the song from 50,000 times, idolizing this person like they're Jesus. And they can't even pay their own bills. Those are the people who have been completely psyoped by the slave mind. You are allowing yourself to be distracted with bread and circus garbage as your actual life and the things that matter crumble around you. It is far more difficult to achieve a genuinely unique status than it's ever been, because money alone doesn't work anymore. We live in Dubai. Who doesn't have a Lambo? Who doesn't have money? Who cares, right? So you can't just have money. You need to have money and charisma and intellect and wisdom, and you need to be smart, you need to be brave and physically fit, in good shape. You have to add all these things together, and then you need status, you need clout, you need to add all of this up. And it's getting harder and harder for men to break through to that 1%. And the true answer to all of these things is you need to be prepared to take risks and suffer the pain of failing, because you're not going to win every single time. I think it's easy to make money, but in the world today, I see a lot of people who make money and think that's enough. They still think it's the 1995 or something where you could have money and that you're somehow somebody. I like to believe the universe is fairly balanced. And I like to believe that everybody gets what they deserve, both the good and the bad. And I like to believe that I deserve all of the amazing things I have, and I deserve all of the bad things that happen to me. And that's probably me optimizing my mind for competency and the capability to deal with things. Because if something bad happens to me and I believe I deserve it, it's much easier than going, oh, poor me. I don't have a victim mindset. I think that every single person watching this has exactly what they deserve. I think everything good in your life, you deserve it. Everything bad in your life, you deserve it. If you're important and famous, you deserve that. If you don't deserve it. You have exactly what you deserve. Where you are and who you are is what you should be. And if you wanted to be something else, you would be something else. I take responsibility for absolutely everything in my life. What they did to me was unfair, but is it my fault? Well, I did attack the Matrix. I did go to war in a battle of influence against the most powerful governmental systems on the planet. I did brag and be brash and run around in my Lambo with 3 girls in the passenger seat. I did all of this. Is it fair how they spun it and attacked me with it? No. But I don't think as a full-grown man, I can sit here and say it's not my fault. If someone runs up to me on the street and stabs me to death, is that fair? No. Do I deserve it? No. But is it my fault? Yes. I should have seen him coming. I should have had security. I should have known he was after me because we argued the day before. Everything is my fault. So fault and fair in the amateur mind are conflated. In my mind, they're very different things. Yes, they lied about me. Yes, I'm innocent. Yes, it was a setup, but it's my fault. I said something before about that the BBC still use against me to this day. I said if a woman goes out and she meets a man she doesn't know, and she's wearing a short skirt, and she gets drunk with that man, and then she goes back to that man's hotel room, and then cries rape, I blame the woman. And what I'm trying to say is that we need to have personal accountability in all things, because the world's not a perfect place. And her, as an adult, should have enough personal responsibility to not put herself in a position where it's easy to allow bad things to happen to her. Just as I, as a man, don't allow myself to be in a position where bad things can happen to me. I won't go to Kandahar right now and get shot with an AK because I know that there's people there who might kill me. We all have to have personal responsibility, but the world is now skewed. The thing is, the Matrix, they gender most of my arguments and they say I'm talking about women. I'm not only talking about women because exceptions do disprove the rule, but we have to talk about generalities. In general, men take more accountability than women because in general, men have to be more competitive than women. But there's plenty of men who don't take accountability either. And I don't talk to them either. I mean, I judge people on their appearances all the time. I judge books by their cover all day, every day. If I look at you and I feel like you're weak, I don't believe you have personal responsibility. I don't believe you have motivation. I don't believe you have dedication. I don't believe you can keep donuts out of your mouth. I don't believe you have any self-control. I don't talk to you. I don't like you. Call me fatphobic. I don't care. That's my decision. I'm rich. I don't need you. So I don't talk to you. Because I believe you're the kind of person who will not take accountability for their actions. Because you're eating donuts all day, you're becoming obese, and you're blaming your fucking thyroid. So you're a dumbass. You are not unlucky, you're just undisciplined. That's the diagnosis. You're not the victim of some global conspiracy, some economic curse, or some tragic twist of fate. You're the result of your daily decisions. They taught you that struggle is unfair, that stress is toxic, and that suffering is something to avoid. And you believed them. And now you're shocked that your life feels empty. But the harsh truth is, every great man in history, every single one earned his power through discomfort, pressure, and relentless self-control. Not motivation, not some magical formula, just ruthless, consistent, disciplined action. You wake up late, check your phone, scroll through distractions, and convince yourself you're taking a break. Break from what? You haven't earned the right to rest. You're tired, not because you're overworked, but because you've been living without purpose. You have no structure, no war plan, no internal code you follow. And without a code, a man becomes a leaf in the wind, blown in every direction, controlled by forces he doesn't understand. Deep down, you know it. That voice in your head, the one that whispers when the room goes quiet. That's the real you, screaming to wake up. But you silence it with noise. You mute it with entertainment. You numb it with food, video games, anything to avoid confronting the fact that you've betrayed yourself. But here's the power in this reality. If you're the reason you're broke, you're also the reason you can become rich. No more blaming your parents, no more crying about the system, no more waiting for a miracle. You become the miracle. You become the weapon. You rise from mediocrity not because someone pulled you up, but because you decided to stop sinking. And that's where real power is forged. Not in ease, but in the furnace of self-discipline. You understand how dangerous you become when you start doing the things you hate with military precision? When you go to the gym even when you're tired, when you wake up at 5 a.m. even when it's cold and raining, you develop an edge that no university, no course, no job can give you. The king conquers his mind, the peasant obeys his feelings. That's the line, and you get to choose which side you're on every single morning you open your eyes. Because you think I was born into this mindset? You think I had it easy? No, I was a nobody, just like you. But I refused to be average. I refused to live in fear. I made a pact with myself. I will suffer now, so I never suffer again. Discipline buys freedom. When you master your habits, you master your outcome. And when you master your outcomes, you master your life. You need to understand something very clearly. The life you want doesn't come to the man who waits. It comes to the man who becomes worthy of it. And worthiness is not gifted, it's earned. In the early hours, in the late nights, in the moments nobody's watching, when you're tired, alone, broke, and no one believes in you, that's where the next version of you is forged. You will not break if you suffer, you will break if you avoid it. Lean into it, seek it, own it. Because the man who is comfortable being uncomfortable is the man who owns the world. You are capable of more than you've ever been told. So take the pain. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it harden you. Let it be the reason you rise, not the excuse you fall. Because when the day comes, and it will, when you look back in your life, you'll either be the man who broke himself down to rebuild greatness, or the man who had every chance and did absolutely nothing with it. You ever sit in the dark, not because it's romantic, but because you couldn't afford the electricity bill? That was me. Not in some ancient chapter of life. Not when I was a kid, as a grown man. A man who looked in the mirror and hated what he saw because I knew deep down I'd let myself become weak. That kind of broke. It's not about money. It's about identity. Every step outside feels like a performance. A mask you wear so nobody knows how close you are to breaking. And I had a moment, sitting on that cheap mattress, staring at a cracked ceiling, where I decided this is the bottom. Not because the situation improved, but because I refused to sink lower. That decision, that internal contract I signed with my own future, that was the birth of the man I am today. I sold furniture to pay for training. I skipped meals to afford equipment. Every missed pleasure was a brick in the castle I was building inside my mind. And when you stack enough bricks, the walls grow high enough to keep the weakness out. That's when the suffering becomes sacred. I had friends disappear, women leave, people mock me. You know what I did? Nothing. I didn't beg. I stayed quiet, I stayed moving. Because when you're on the path to greatness, you must be comfortable walking alone. And the further you go, the fewer people can follow. That's the tax of becoming exceptional. The average will always resent the rare. But here's the irony. When you start winning, they all come back. That's how you know you've arrived. Not when they cheer for you, but when they envy you in silence. When the same people who doubted you Start imitating your discipline. And once you learn to love the process more than the prize chases you. I trained every day like I was fighting death itself, because in a way I was fighting the death of my potential, and that fight never ends. Every morning you wake up, you either move closer to your destiny or deeper into decay. You ever feel invisible? You ever walk through the world and feel like nobody sees you, nobody respects you, nobody fears you? That's not their fault, that's yours. Because respect is earned, presence is cultivated, and fear is a gift reserved for the few men on this planet who walk like warriors, speak like kings, and think like conquerors. While the rest of the world was busy fitting in, I was busy building an empire inside my soul. Truth is, the man you want to be is already inside you. He's not waiting on motivation. He's waiting on war. The war against laziness, against self-pity, against your past. That's when life shifts. That's when you walk away from the herd and become a wolf. Right now, there's a man waking up with fire in his chest, hunger in his soul, and the same 24 hours you waste crying about how hard life is. He doesn't feel sorry for himself. He doesn't need permission. He's not waiting for motivation or hoping for kindness from the world. He's too busy stealing everything you thought you wanted. And the terrifying part? He's already ahead. You keep thinking you've got time, but one day you'll blink and the window will be gone. You'll be older, slower, bitter, watching from the sidelines as younger, sharper, more ruthless men take everything you could have had. That realization will haunt you more than failure ever could. I've sat across from men in their 40s, broken by the choices they didn't make. They say the same thing every time. I wish I started earlier. That's not a life. That's a slow death. And if you're not careful, that becomes you. Every time you say not today, someone else says right now, and he becomes the man you'll envy forever. Let me be brutally clear. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It respects outcomes. It honors results. Nobody is giving you applause for potential. You either build your legacy or you get buried under someone else's. And if you think you're safe because you got a little money, a job, a routine, you're mistaken. Safety is the most dangerous lie you've ever been sold. It makes you slow. It makes you predictable, and predictable men are easy to replace, easy to control, and easy to forget. That anxiety you feel in your chest, that's your body telling you you're still alive. Use it. Stop numbing it. Stop running from it. Look around. Most people are asleep. Their bodies are walking, but their minds are dead. They've traded ambition for entertainment. They scroll endlessly, laugh at nothing, talk about weekends like children waiting for recess. You've been gifted a brain capable of conquering empires, and you waste it watching other people chase their dreams while you rot in digital sedation? That should make your blood boil. You're better than this, and you know it. That voice inside you, the one whispering that you were meant for more, it's real. You've just been ignoring it so long, it's barely a whisper now. And here's the harshest truth of all. There is no restart button. This isn't a video game. You get one shot, one life, and the clock's been ticking since you were born. Keep wasting years pretending you're figuring things out. Keep telling yourself next month you'll start being serious. Destroy that version. Burn him. Kill him. Replace him with a man who chooses courage over comfort, action over excuses, growth over escape. The future doesn't belong to the hesitant. It belongs to those who are urgent, to those who move while others wait, to those who fight while others fantasize, to those who choose to become legends while the rest stay trapped in mediocrity. They wait for signs, wait for support, wait for the perfect time. But the truth is, life doesn't wait. It rewards the man who moves first, bleeds first, risks first. People talk about motivation like it's some magic energy that descends from the sky. That's nonsense. I didn't get here because I was motivated. I got here because I was obsessed. I treated my goals like life or death, because in a way they are. Your dreams die when you don't feed them with action. Real strength is the ability to do what needs to be done long after the excitement has faded. It's grinding in silence. It's building while people doubt you. It's refusing to break even when the world is throwing everything at you. And still standing, still pushing, still climbing. That's what separates the average from the elite. You need to understand something. Success is not an accident. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not something you stumble upon one day. It's something you build brick by brick, choice by choice. You build it when you skip comfort for growth. You build it when you say no to shortcuts. You build it when you keep your promises to yourself, especially when no one's watching. Because every time you quit early, every time you back off because it hurts, every time you say later instead of now, you're teaching your mind that weakness is acceptable. And once that lesson sinks in, you start to decay, slowly, silently, until you become the man you used to mock.
Results. Results. Every once in a while, you got to take a measure, see how you're doing. What is the results at the end of the day, the results at the end of the week? You can't let too much time go by without checking. 6 years I'd been out there working when I met my teacher, Mr. Shoaff. Shoaff said, well, Mr. Rohn, let's just go through a little summary here. He said, in the last 6 years, how much money have you saved and invested? I said, what? 0. He said, you've messed up. He said, who sold you on that plan? I thought, my gosh, the man's right. I'm a nice guy. I bought the wrong plan. What if you were 50 and broke? Didn't need to change countries. Bought the wrong plan. What a sad scenario that would be. He said, how many books have you read in the last 90 days? Change your life, change your future. Wisdom of the world available. Develop any skill you want. Earn the kind of income you want. Have all the treasures you want, equities you want, relationship with your family that you want, everything that you want available, and the wisdom of the world to help you get it. Haven't read any books in the last 90 days. My teacher said, Mr. Rohn, you have messed up. Shoaff said, Mr. Rohn, in the last 6 months, how many classes have you taken to improve your skills or to develop new skills? Become rich and powerful and sophisticated and healthy and influential. How many classes have you taken in the last 6 months? I said, how many? 0. He said, you have messed up. He said, you don't need to unmess the country. All you've got to do is look within and let results teach you a great deal about your own activity, your own attitude, and your own philosophy. Take this phrase home. Results is the name of the game. What other game is there? Here's all life asks us to do. Make measurable progress in reasonable time.